Vicious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Hello and welcome to the Rotherham United podcast, our Valentine's special, where we share our love for each other, obviously, and the club and, that type of thing. We are spending the time together. We have Mick, Ben, and myself, Matt, as always. Hello.
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 Have you had a lovely Valentine's Day, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, full of love. Yeah, it's been all right.
Good.
That's about it, isn't it?
Just like a check-in.
You don't need any more information, do you?
No, I prefer not.
Right, yeah. Whatever.
So we're going to start with asking you to follow us everywhere. So if you were listening to this, you're not following on Twitter, Facebook, or subscribe on YouTube, please do. This we're going out through the same channels as always, but if you've seen somewhere else, get involved. And like I said, just feel free to get involved with this. We're going to briefly talk about the postponement because we've covered most of that, and then we're going to be looking ahead to Bournemouth. We all right?
Yeah. Sorry. I just want to say a quick shout out to I think his name. Let me get his name. I think it's Righty. One sec. For the GIF he made, Righty. I don't know. I'm gonna say full name. I don't know who wants it, but the GIF you made is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, thank you so much for making that. Thank you so much.
It's already been used multiple times in our private chat, so yeah, we do appreciate it. If anybody's not seen it, it's just Mick in his typical angry face.
I've retweeted it for everybody.
And I don't know if Mick's done ref watch for this week, but he'll be pulling that face again at the end of the show if he hasn't.
I have tried to do it, and the last time I looked, the EFL hadn't been bothered to put it up.
I found it for you. We'll come on to that later on. It's not good news, but I'll keep you all in suspense until we come on to that part because it's yeah. So first of all, in performance, we've covered it to death a little bit, but just final thoughts, Ben. The timing of it and everything else, no issues at all.
No, I think it's good. The break, like we said, we're probably going to have Gio back for it now. Maybe Lindsay. Because they can't fit it in until what it looks like April or March or whatever. But minimum, however many weeks is it? How many weeks is April? What's our next midweek? It's got to be a lot.
The next free midweek we've got is not including Easter because we play Wickham on Easter Monday, so there's no midweek game for that week. It's between the 10th and 17th with Huddersfield on the 10th and Birmingham on the 17th.
April.
That's of April. That's our next available midweek game. Not including international break.
It's 2 months, that's 8 weeks. We'll most have Trio back for it. It wasn't an important-ish game. They're down there. I wouldn't say it's game of the season, but I think it's good to postpone it. We'll have sadly.
Actually, I made a mistake. I do apologise. We've got a spare weekend in March between the 6th and the 13th, unless that's already been filled. I'll look into that. Well, it'll change by a month, to be fair. Gio should still be back in theory.
You would hope so, wouldn't you, by that time? So
you know what Gio's like though? Go and pick somewhere else or something. We're going to pick his school next or something. Loves a good 6 months.
Yeah, no, we are playing. We're playing Luton that week, so that's not a free week. So it is April.
lovely.
So yeah, cool. Not much more to add, is there, Mick, on the QPR stuff?
A bit disappointing. Like I said, we did a live one on Saturday at 5 o'clock just to look at the results, and I would discussed this then, didn't we, in some depth? I was a bit disappointed they did it on Friday and not 2 o'clock on Saturday, because essentially what it meant was that Friday afternoon the vast majority of us were at work, so we could only enjoy the Twitter fallout really for sort of kind of lunchtime. Obviously, had it been Saturday afternoon, would have enjoyed it we could have had all Saturday afternoon at it.
True.
So I am a bit disappointed in that respect. But anyway, it is what it is, isn't it? Well, I'm sure we'll postpone some more. So
just laugh.
Yeah, I always just
Yeah,
think
just got laugh. I'm going down there with my drone next time.
we just need to have a look and look through the sort of fixture list and find out. Have a look, see who thinks they're a massive club that shouldn't possibly be inconvenienced in any way, and then inconvenience them.
Well, like Wednesday.
We can't do that because we're playing at their place next, aren't we? I mean, we tried it with drone, didn't we, when they came to our place, but they just rolled over anyway, so it didn't really matter, did it?
No, fair point. The results basically went our way at the weekend. The only team down there, or two teams down there, one was Wickham, who are bottom. I think we're still 10 points clear of them. And Derby, Mick, who seem to be picking up a bit of form in terms of the odd 1-0 win. They've obviously won 2-1 on Saturday, but they're always winning by the odd goal. So they are scraping through some results, Derby.
Which is, I mean, bearing in mind how absolutely appalling they were both times we played them, they're doing a really good job, to be fair. And you know, I guess, and I say this slightly tongue-in-cheek, but not completely, with the tools that he's working with, Rooney and his team are not doing a bad job. Because they have been working with a nail through at least one of the boots, haven't they? You know what I mean? With the quality that team has shown so far. But we know, don't we, that they're not a bad side. They do have some quality players, and they shouldn't really be down there.
Yeah. I agree. Forest picked up another point. They drew with our opponents for Wednesday. Bournemouth. Wickham beat Huddersfield. So the teams are falling back in. Huddersfield in particular are falling right back into this. And to be fair, Ben, this happens with the Huddersfield are managed by a former Leeds United coach, a former basically Bielsa. I don't know what's the word. They looked after him.
Protege.
That's the one. Yeah. And this can happen with those pressing teams which Huddersfield do. I don't know if it's tiredness because it's such a long season, but they've dropped off a cliff in terms of Huddersfield results. For us, that's perfect.
I don't think anyone can be Bielsa's thing. Bielsa is. I was saying this to Mick actually earlier. They were 3-0 down. Arsenal. I don't know what the score was. 4-2. Oh, I don't know. 4-2. And they love like 6-0 wins or 6-0 losses, I think. And Bielsa's the only way to play that way properly. I think he's the only man that understands it in and out. So I think if they're trying to play like Bielsa, I think that they're going to have some big problems because first of all, they don't have millions to spend and one of the best teams in the league. And second of all, you know what I mean? You can't play like Bielsa unless you're Bielsa. Or Guardiola. It's
one of those things, isn't it? People, it is a well-known saying that a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. You know what I mean? And unless you've worked under somebody like that for many, many years and know it inside out, you're destined to fail. That's why there are only so few. Well, why there are so few managers or coaches of that sort of caliber. You know, there's no point spending 6 months with him and thinking you've got it all sussed, walking away, and it all turns to dog muck, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So
yeah. But it's this guy's first season of professional football, so he may turn out in 3 or 4 years' time that it's just it. He's not had a proper pre-season like many clubs, but when you play in that style, you realistically need a proper pre-season. That's where we've benefited from having 6 months off. We've been able to have as normal a pre-season as possible. Whereas something like Huddersfield, that's going to have a negative impact because they haven't been able to do the long-term work. So this is where we should be starting to see those benefits. And I think we are for us, we're starting to see those benefits. We look bigger and stronger and fitter than everybody else at the minute. So,
we said this at the beginning of the season, didn't we? Yeah. We said this at the beginning of the season that it would start to show as the season went on how much stronger than everybody else who were going to be.
Yeah, I agree. And we thought Barnsley have been on a poor run form. We thought they might be falling back in. Maybe not to relegation, but into the mix. But then they've gone and ended Brentford's 22-match unbeaten run today with Carlton Morris getting a goal for them. So Barnsley have seemed to have, stopped that. And hopefully we can join them by staying in the Championship for next season. So fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the Bournemouth game? Unless you've got any other news you want to touch on. We might as well briefly mention Crooksy winning Player of the Month. We only did it on the live show, not on the podcast. So if you didn't watch the live show, we didn't cover it. But Matt Crooks won Player of the Month. He won a Player of the Month for one of the EFL papers, but he won the official Player of the Month for January with 3 goals and an assist in January. And we talked on the live show, Mick, about his valuation, about the costs, how much, if at the end of the season, push comes to shove, we sell him. I talked to a Leeds fan, a Wednesday fan, and they were saying he never in a million years, in this current circumstances, getting 7 or 8 million for him.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Don't sell him then.
That's what I did.
Simple, really, isn't it? I mean, it is genuinely that simple. We don't have to sell him. We don't need to sell him. We don't want to sell him. If somebody comes along and meets the valuation, happy days, that's fine. If they don't, you're not having him. End of.
Yeah.
That's I mean, it's dead straightforward, isn't it? On current, the way current things are, and we've talked about this, as you say, on the live show the other day. £7-8 million worth of midfielder at the very least. If he's running about on a Saturday afternoon in a Brentford shirt, he's a £15 million central midfielder, isn't he?
Of course he is, yeah.
So he's running about in a Rotherham shirt. He's playing in the same league. He's still the same quality. He's still the same calibre. That's what he's worth. If you want to pay it, pay it. If you don't. See you later. That's the way. That's the attitude that we're going to have.
Would you turn down 6 million?
I don't think anybody would offer it, to be honest, because we're plucky little Rotherham, aren't we?
Would you turn it down though if someone did?
6 plus add-ons, I'd take.
Nah, a 5 plus add-ons then.
I don't know, Ben. I don't know.
In this day and age and these circumstances, that's a steal because 5 million in. You don't know what's going to happen with COVID. Obviously, it's looking good about vaccines and all this stuff, right? It could mutate. It genuinely could. That is a small possibility that football could not be on next year. Very small possibility. Very, very small. And
cheers for cheering everybody up, man. How good that
thanks.
I know. I'm just saying. You don't know what's going to happen, right?
No, of course, yeah.
Obviously, Stuart's been preparing for a little, whatever he said, he can't.
A rainy day.
Rainy day.
He's been preparing for a rainy day and it's come. You don't know what next one's going to come. 6 million, 5 million for a club like us. I'd take it. It doesn't matter if we're losing Crooks. 5 million. Do you know what I mean? To store that in the bank.
You've also got to bear in mind that I'm sure he was planning for a rainy day. I don't think he would have been planning for over a year's worth of rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is slight concern.
The thing is, as well, we bought him for what? Or did we get him for free? Bought him for what?
100k or something around that. Not much.
Let's say 100k and we're selling for 5 million. That's ridiculous. For a businessman, it'll be true. He could die right now and he'd be happy.
It's about reinvesting though. If we get 5 million quid, it's all right saying that. But if we stay, let's say these are all hypotheticals, but they're worth going through, I think, because these are genuine. This could happen. If we stay up and sell Crooks on for 5 million quid, and obviously we're still in the Championship, we've got to replace him. Because he's on course to get 10 plus goals for the season, which is a huge amount in a team like us. So it's all right saying, we'll take 5 million quid and it'll help the club. But if we don't replace somebody like that, we're not stopping up for a third season, are we?
The thing is, what do we do with the Jay money? What do we do with Volks money invested in Barlasser, Crooks, Lindsay, Freddie? Yeah, Freddie. Do you know what I mean? Apart from Freddie, they're all young players. No, Barlasser and Lindsay could go for 3-4 million in a few years. Especially Lindsay, because he's like 22 and he looks about 16. Looks my age. But, you know what I mean? Lindsay could go for a few million in a few years. So I think we've got to play the long game. But like you said, we've got to keep some assets. You can't, you know what I mean? You've got to keep.
Let's be fair, though. You're not Freddie's biggest fan. But if we sold Freddie today, again, if Derby had come in and put a bid in, Freddie's not going anywhere for less than $1 million, is he? Because he's a striker who's got goals. He's proven at League One, and he's got goals in Championship. So we've got assets like that.
The one thing I would say is his age is a big factor.
Yeah.
I think that's why he's not going for more. But like you said, goals. I think around $1 million. If we got 950k or something or $1 million, I'd be happy with it. You know what I mean? We bought him for what? 300, 200, whatever it was.
Around somewhere between 400 and 500k. But at the same time, how much based on the goals he got last season, he's earned us our Championship money effectively. So he's paid for himself already, Freddie. So anything we get now is a bonus. But again, these are all hypotheticals, but there are interesting ones because obviously we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we don't want to sell Crooksy, do we? We don't want to sell anybody at the moment.
Let's say it was £5 million plus, let's say, a 35 to 40% sell-on clause, then I would be basically happy with that because you've got £5 million to bring somebody in, which we're obviously not going to spend £5 million.
Yeah.
But let's say we spend 750k on somebody.
If that, I don't think he'd do that. But
possibly not. Hypothetical.
Can you imagine?
Crooks, go on.
No, go carry on.
I was if he gets a sell-on clause, what chances of Crooks going somewhere else and going somewhere else in 3 years' time for another couple of £1 million?
Well, that's like I say. If he goes Norwich, right? Obviously, if they go up, I don't think they'll sign him. But if they somehow bottle it like Leeds style or something, and they don't make the playoffs or anything, and they won him next year, $5 million plus a 30% add-on fee, sell-on clause. When they go up to the Premier League, he's not going to be playing, so they're going to sell him for a couple million.
Yeah. Oh, he might play. And if he does play, he'll then value up.
And the thing is as well, if he goes to someone else in Championship, there'll be that clause that we did with Ajayi about him getting $1 million. And the thing is with these other clubs who aren't like us, they'll sell players within the next season if they're not good enough. Some clubs. So I think a sell-on percentage. Is what it's called.
It's how we work as a club, isn't it? Look at Semi. I assume Volks would have one similar in it. It's about being smart with your business. I know the money for Ajayi weren't very good up front, but if he does get sold on now, again, if West Brom go down and West Brom are going down, if a Premier League club wants to bring him in, which would make perfect sense because he's having a decent season, what are they going to pay for him? £10 million?
Yeah, I got 10 million. We get 5, 4, 3 minimum of that.
Yeah.
So
this is COVID. The prices, COVID is pushing the prices down and everything.
But the thing is, without COVID, he goes for 20 million. Without a doubt, it was worth 20 million quid when he was with us. He's one of the best centre backs I've ever seen play.
Yeah,
he's he should be in the Premier League. Same with Rodak. I don't think Rodak's as good as Ajayi, but they should both be in the Premier League.
No, Rodak's not playing, is he? Ariola.
Oh well, he was at PSG though when he last year. So.
Yeah. Anyway,
another word for nipple.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a part in your nipple, isn't it?
Just asking.
Yeah.
They're mature, me, can't you? How old are you?
But yeah, massive hats off to Crooksy for winning Player of the Month, fully deserved, and everybody's behind him and supports him like every rest of us players. So a very, very, very well done. On to Wednesday night, 8:15 kickoff for anybody that doesn't know. We go to, I think it's now called the Vitality Stadium, or Dean Court, if you want to use its old name, to face Bournemouth, who are inconsistent, very inconsistent. They've won one win in the last 6 games. Bournemouth have, and that win was against Birmingham, and they only won 3-2. And Birmingham are terrible, so that gives you the idea of the form that Bournemouth are in. I don't really know what to expect, Mick. I genuinely don't know what to expect on this game.
No, it's very, very difficult to read from here, isn't it? You know what I mean? From this far out. No, I can't enlighten you at all, Matt, I'm afraid. It's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a difficult game. The ex-Premier League. And we're only plucky little Rotherham. So as long as we can give a good account of ourselves and not embarrass ourselves, I'll be a very happy man.
Have you been reading Sky Sports' script?
Not yet. I'm just in the process of writing it at the moment. I'll be emailing it off later on tonight. So if you've got any more suggestions, obviously there's lots of plucky little Rotherhams in there, and aggressive. Direct things like that, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult game, but if you remember how we performed against them at our place, we pressed them really high. They really struggled with that. The style of play that Bournemouth play is the type of play that we like to play against, if that makes sense. Cardiff, we really struggled against their style. Barnsley, we struggled against their start. Barnsley, Barnsley play like we play. They press really high, as you saw against when they played Chelsea the other night. And they basically play the same way that we play. Okay. So that game were a bit of a mess, just because both teams playing the same way. Bournemouth, on the other hand, obviously ex-Premier League, and they got up there by some really basic possession-based football, weren't it?
It weren't possession. It was just like beautiful football, weren't it? It was just
classy. Yeah,
it was classy, yeah. But they're not back now down in the Championship, and they haven't got the players capable, or as many players capable.
They've got Jack Wilshere.
Yeah,
is he playing though?
Yeah, he's signed. Well, I don't know. He signed in January, so I'm guessing he must be. If he's Jack Wilshere, right?
Yeah, he's playing. Yeah.
Jack Wilshere on his day, right? Locked up Iniesta. Essentially, he did. Let's be real. On his day, he locked up Iniesta. That's worrying.
Yeah, that's 10 years ago. That's more than 10 years ago, though, Ben.
I understand that, but he's still a quality player, Jack Wilshere. If he didn't have a bad injury, he'd be one of the best players in the world. The way he moves and stuff like that.
But at the moment, he's playing for Bournemouth in Championship.
Agree.
And if he were any good, he wouldn't be.
I mean, it were linked with us, wasn't it? And and with all respect to our club, if a player like Jack Wilshere is linked with a team like Rotherham United, from where he came, something's gone wrong.
He's on his backside, isn't he?
He had a big injury crisis, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's a take more than an injury crisis for him to come to somewhere like Plucky Little Rotherham, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
Their top scorer is Dominic Solanke, who did score against us in the return fixture, but has only scored once this year, so once in about 6 or 7 games.
I believe they've got 2. They've got Stanislas has got 10 goals as well, hasn't he? I think he's up there.
You're asking me now? No.
Which one of those two were it that threw themselves on the floor when Jamal Blackman shouted at him? Yeah.
Solanke,
yeah.
Stanislas is in a decent run of form. He scored 4 goals in his last 6 games, so he's in a decent bit of form. Stanislas. I think he scored the penalty, or I might be wrong, can't remember.
Not bad for a striker. We've got a midfielder who's done just that.
Well, yeah, exactly. And he's not as much money as them two either. I'll tell you that now.
No, absolutely.
It is going to be a tough game. We're going to see this a lot, and we will see it a lot between now and then. They're ex-Premier League club. They know what they're doing. Well, they should know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They sacked Jason Holden. Or am I thinking of something else? Tyndall. They sacked him earlier this month. They brought in Jonathan Woodgate.
What's the point? When you go through 3 managers in 2 years, what's the point? What is the point in even trying anymore? Just stick with one manager.
Well, I think that's what they're thinking.
I don't even know why they got rid of Eddie Howe. I know he had a bad season.
I don't think he was sacked. I genuinely think that was a mutual consent. As you look at the job that they've got on. They've sold all the best players in summer. They've sold Josh King in January transfer window.
Have they? It's
a massive job, and with all due respect, I don't think Eddie Howe fancied it.
I mean, to be fair, the board at Bournemouth are obviously thinking the same as you, Ben. They're obviously thinking, what is the point? What on earth is the point of why will we carry on? That's why they've appointed Jonathan Woodgate.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Tyndall was it was Eddie Howe light. He's basically the same person. They even look similar, but just not quite as good. If he were good enough, he'd have been manager 10 years ago.
Does he look as dodgy as Eddie Howe then? I've not seen him.
What?
Not quite.
I want to ask you about it. Mick, what's your obsession with Eddie Howe and David Guetta? He's a bit dodgy as well, David Guetta.
But I mean, to be fair, as a football manager, I think you're always going to be crap anyway, David Guetta, weren't he? I know. I just listen. It's perhaps a subject for another day.
Yeah,
he's got some good music, David Guetta.
Eddie Howe, though.
Eddie
Howe's crap on decks, mate.
Didn't you used to be on decks, mate? Didn't you? You gave a good go. You gave a good go for your money, wouldn't you?
Anyway. We're looking for 4 wins in a row for the first time since the 80s, Mick. That would be incredible to get 4 wins in a row. 4 away wins in a row, sorry.
I was going to say. Look, we've got Bournemouth away and Norwich away for the next 2 games.
Yeah.
If we could come out, if we could come out of that with 2 points, I'd be happy.
When was the last time we had 5?
8 is still.
I think if we can come out of it with 2 points, I'll be happy. 3 would be unbelievable. So I'm not anticipating us getting anything from these next 2 games. I'll be honest. Having said that, I think we're more than capable of certainly getting something on Wednesday night. But you never know at Norwich, do you? You never know. We haven't got a great record there, but we're capable of getting something on Wednesday. Whether we do, it depends how. We're going to have a week's rest as well, which is going to benefit us as well. And their home form, like you say, is not great. So it is on the cards. It is a possibility. I'm not convinced. I'd be happy if we can get away with a draw.
Yeah, I agree. We don't have a particularly good record against Bournemouth. It's not terrible, but it's not great. No win in our last 6 games in all competitions, with the FA Cup game being in there as well. It's the first time we've been to Bournemouth since 2014, when we had a 1-1 draw there. I think we equalised very, very late on that day. I'm trusting they'll be able to let us know about that. The last time we won in Bournemouth was October 2006. And this is a blast from the past from Mick. Ben will have no idea who I'm talking about. Jurgen Bopp got one. Remember him?
Jurgen Bopp? Jurgen Bopp? That sounds like a Klopp parody.
It does a bit, yeah. You're right. It was sort of like a German Eugene. It's not Jurgen, it's EUGNE or something like that.
Yeah.
And Lee Williamson and Will Hoskins got the other 2.
Yeah.
So that's how long ago that was.
Yeah, it's a while that.
Yeah, they left us a couple of months later, didn't they? Them 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, not good for us, Ben. But stats don't mean anything. But they sort of do. Bournemouth is obviously a difficult place to go get something in it.
Yeah, with the players they've still got Brooks, who's who starts for Wales. They've got Wilshere, obviously they've talked about him. They've got some good players, but it's team sport. It's not tennis or golf. One good player don't make your team work. I don't know. It's going to be. I don't know, because it's hard to tell with teams like this, because they can either play like Barcelona or have no chemistry whatsoever. Like you said, they've got the newish manager in it, a month or so.
Yeah,
a new for manager. Wait, it's not for Bournemouth manager.
It's not their full-time manager. They've been linked with
player manager.
No. What's his face? So we're at Hull and Watford and Everton.
Silva.
They've been linked with him.
Is it Marco Silva? I think his name is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So is he like caretaker?
Yeah, he's like interim. They don't call him caretakers anymore, do they? Because it's a bit doesn't sound as good as he's interim manager.
I don't know. I think with the way we're playing, I think we can get something. I think 2 years ago, if we were in this situation, I don't think we will have. But I think I'd have been very negative about it. But I think we can at least get a draw. I think a draw is definitely possible, because we should have won the game at our place and they got a penalty. Weren't a penalty. So yeah, I'm quite positive about it, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. We're going to move on to Ref Watch now.
Well, so what you're going to do basically is just undermine everything that we've just said about this, aren't you? And I assume you're going to tell us that the referee's Jeff Eltringham again.
No.
No.
So we said that Jeff Eltringham's performance was the worst performance since.
It's not showing the kettle.
Since Swansea 2018. It's Keith Stroud.
Oh, God.
The last game he refereed us was the 4-3 defeat away to Swansea.
The 3-2 win? You mean the 3-2 win?
No, the 4-3 loss.
3-2 win, what should it be?
How is he still refereeing in Championship?
We were going over this last week. We went over this last week about how pathetic referees are.
Jesus. It's one for cameras as well, isn't it? So be able to play up to cameras as well.
Correct.
With buttons down here.
I think you can pretty sort of confidently predict then that we are definitely going to lose on Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
possibly. Yeah,
there's no possibly about it, is there? Well, you saw what Eltringham did last week. You saw what influence he had on the game because of his complete incompetence. We know what Keith Stroud's like anyway. Over and above any games that he's refereed for us, you see him whatever game he referees.
The playoff semis last season. He sent that Brentford player off at Swansea.
Yeah.
Nico Henry, I think.
Yeah.
Which was that got returned straight away.
Like Swansea, is he from Swansea?
I don't think he's Welsh. No, not that I can tell.
Yeah, no offence, but who would claim to be Welsh?
Welsh people usually.
No offence
to anybody who's worried. Yeah, I just googled him. Guess where he's from?
Oh, Bournemouth.
He's from Bournemouth.
Wow. So,
oh, get out of here!
According to Google, he's from Bournemouth.
No, I'm not wearing that. No way. You are kidding me, aren't you?
No, not at all.
He's Bournemouth. No other teams in Bournemouth, is it? Or near Bournemouth?
Born 12th of August 1969 from Bournemouth.
How old is he?
51. But he's from Bournemouth.
They can be refereed. I think Mike Dean's similar age to that.
Yeah, so, are you sure you've got this right? It is definitely Keith Stroud that's refereeing our game. Definitely. Let me get this straight. Keith Stroud, who originates from Bournemouth, is refereeing our game away at Bournemouth.
The thing is with this, right? It's so bad because every kid, right, goes up to support the local team, unless you're weird or whatever. You go to like football, no offence anyway. But anyone watching this play like football. So if you go up and don't like football, you're that unique kid, right? But apart from that, you should go up supporting your local team. In Bournemouth, I'm not aware of any other big teams, right? I'll play some non-league, but whatever. He must be a Bournemouth fan unless he's, I don't know, he must be a Bournemouth fan. So
it can't be. It can't be because they've got to declare when they first start refereeing X amount of years ago. If they have an affiliation, they've got to declare. So, for example, Howard Webb could never referee a competitive Rotherham game because he's a Rotherham fan.
Thing is, it's probably just slipped him a fiver. You know what FA's like and FIFA like, whatever it is. You know what they're like. Slipping him a fiver, they do all for you, won't it?
But it might work in our favour because he's obviously not going to drive very far to get home, so he might be in a good mood.
I can't be right, mate. I can't possibly be right.
He might want to show he's not a Bournemouth fan. I remember when we had Howard Webb as a referee, I can't remember what game it was, but we definitely had him as a referee. I think he might have been a friendly. But it was awful. It was awful.
He did a couple of friendlies for us, Howard Webb.
I genuinely don't believe that.
Yeah. Anyway, we spent all last week talking about referees. We're not going to talk about any referees anymore, and until the game happens and it gives us 3 penalties against us. So yeah, sorry.
Can we just sorry, but there's a referee called Benjamin Speed. Wow.
Excellent.
Oh no, Kettle's still refereeing as well, by the way.
Yeah, he did Stevenage game last week, didn't he?
Wow.
I'm so glad we're not in League 2 anymore.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll ask you that again after Wednesday's game to see how you feel about that. Yeah. So a couple of stats for you on terms of players. One stat I did miss from the last game, and apologies to anybody who cares. It was Michael Hickley's 250th league career appearance last Tuesday night against Cardiff. So that's fantastic. A lot of them were in non-league, but obviously still counts as league games. And Michael Smith, assuming he plays on Wednesday, which if he doesn't play, I would be very disappointed. It'll be his 125th Rotherham United appearance. Mick, on Michael Smith, just 125 games, he's been a very, very, very good player and an incredible value for money signing.
Yeah, very much so. He's in the form of his life at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's been outstanding, and long may that continue. He's struck up that partnership with Matt Crooks, like we discussed last week, and it's great. It's great to see. It's great to see the confidence coming out of him. You can just just written all over him, isn't it? You know, if he could keep this up till the end of the season, he's going to be, put a decent price on his own head. I know we keep talking about selling players, don't we? But you know, it's about the value of your value of your assets, isn't it? Ultimately. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great to see.
Yeah, I agree. Ben, assuming there's no further injuries, what change are you expecting? Ben ran a week's rest, more than a week's rest, because we're playing Tuesday night. We're playing Wednesday night.
None.
Cool.
Yeah,
I don't see why they should. Or why they could, to be honest.
Well, they could, couldn't they?
I mean, you can't justify it really, though, can you? Apart from rest, but they've had a week.
Really now.
A week off.
No. Another thing it's good for the postponed Saturday is it might give Sadly a bit more time to not miss another game.
Yeah.
And you'll have some proper training. We're expecting some decent weather in the next few days. So Sadly we'll hopefully get some
T-shirt and shorts.
Almost tropical, isn't it?
12 degrees, isn't it? We're getting T-shirt
14 at some point this week.
Wow. Wow. Having to have cold showers.
Saturday, sorry, 12, yeah. So that's going to help Sadly. We've talked a lot about him missing training because of bad pitches and whatnot. So hopefully that'll get him closer. Because I think we need somebody to interchange with Crooks. Hurst doesn't do it well enough, and Freddie doesn't do it well enough. Sadly, it could be that replacement for the number 10 role that we need to make.
It's certainly got that capability.
Replacement's not the right word, is it? Replacement's definitely not the right word, but option, yeah. It just gives you that strength and depth, doesn't it? Whether he's going to be able to sort of strike up the same sort of partnership, the same understanding with Smith or with Crooks, whichever way around you want to do it, only time will tell. But yeah, he's certainly got that ability to do it, hasn't he? Without there's no question about that. We've seen that already in the little bit that we have seen of him this season. So yeah, he's going to be like a new signing, definitely. Yeah. Well, he is a new signing, isn't he? We've only seen him play 2 or 3 times before he got injured. That's
true. You know,
what injury did he have? Is it his knee?
It was an ankle.
It might have been his ankle. Yeah. Which is a shame, obviously. So yeah, that I agree with both of you. I don't think we'll see any changes. It will, if any. But assuming there's no injuries, we don't know, do we?
No.
So that's all I've got, boys. Is there anything else you want? I forgot, missed. Do you want to? Oh, we're going to do the watch along, aren't we?
Oh yes.
So
I'm not so sure about this now, to be honest.
Because Mr. Stroud.
Yeah, I don't know whether we need to put. We'll certainly need to put some sort of parental guidance sticker on that. If you're expecting to do the whole game, just a thought.
Be fine.
It will.
So yeah, that'll be going. So the idea is, if anybody's not aware, we'll be probably on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And the idea is you just watch along with us. You obviously watch the game if you can. Was in Sky Sports, obviously some people can't watch that. So we'll do our best to sort of talk people through the game as it's happening. Sort of like alternative commentary type thing is the theory.
Really?
Well, that's the idea, isn't it? We'll do our best.
Oh, this has got disaster written all over it, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It definitely has.
Indeed. It's going to be a car crash.
If it goes well, we'll do another one. The following week, we're on telly again against Forest, I think. Yeah. Pretty sure we are. So if it works okay, we'll do it again in future. We've seen a lot of other clubs, podcasts similar to us doing similar things, and it seems like it's, seems okay. So that's the plan, anyway. But Ben will under the first half because he will have an appointment with his bed. So that'd be nice to have you for 45 minutes anyway, Ben.
Yeah, I don't think I could stand 2 hours, no offence, with Mick and that referee.
Yeah. But then, if you don't watch that, we'll be back on Friday morning with the review of the Bournemouth game, preview of Norwich City away, which is a hell of a game, unfortunately, for us. So it'd be nice to get a couple of points out of the next 2 fixtures, but we will see what happens. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and also subscribe to the iTunes. Depending on where you bother about listening to it, make sure you subscribe to one of them. If you want to watch, if you want to watch us on Wednesdays, subscribe to the YouTube channel because you get notifications when we're going live, which we will go live every so often. Remember, 8:15 kickoff. I don't know why it's a 8:15 kickoff, but it is a 8:15 kickoff. That will mean there is no post-match.
It's to give Keith Stroud enough time to get to game.
Sorry, obviously.
Coming on bus.
Yeah. There'll be no post-match or pre-match because we'll be doing that. But then, like I said, Friday, we'll come back with the podcast. So, thank you all for listening or watching if you've watched on YouTube. We do really appreciate everybody that does get involved one way or the other. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much for stopping up this late to record. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Mick, thank you for spending Valentine's Day with us. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, I love you both.
I felt it in that one, thanks.
Yeah. I'm sure you can feel it. Yeah.
One last thing as well. Another shout out to that writer for that. If you haven't seen it, just look on one of those three's page. It is the funniest thing. If you've been following the podcast for a while and you know me, it is the funniest thing ever. Honestly, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I'm nearly crying when I saw it, to be honest. So,
he lives a sheltered life, bless him.
Yeah, you need to get out more, Ben. Definitely.
Essential journeys only.
That's true. Yeah, fair point. So cool. Thank you all. We will see you all very, very soon. It has been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Looking towards Odegaard. Ravel. Ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it!